I think today let's talk about attachment styles. So there's lots of different attachment styles, and it kind of depends on what therapist or professional or coach or whatever that you speak to about it. I'm gonna teach you in a simple way, just because I find that it's super effective. If you find that you want to go deeper, then there's obviously resources out there for you. And what you're going to be looking up is attachment theory. So I like to break it down to just 3 different attachment styles. We've got anxious, secure, and avoidant. Okay? So it sounds like it's going to get real loud out here. The street sweepers going by. I suppose that's a good thing, but hopefully it doesn't get too loud for you. Okay. These attachment styles are created, should I say created, developed, whatever, as we are infants, and the way that our parents and society interacts with us. Now, know that no matter what your attachment style is, they are malleable. It is possible for you to move more and more towards secure, and ultimately all of us want to be as close to secure as possible. Almost all of us bounce in between all 3. We just have one that we primarily are in, and we also have one that we get triggered into. So when our attachment style is triggered, then we revert to that. So just as an example for myself, I am primarily secure, and that's something that I have had to work towards. So I'm not sitting here with like a blue ribbon or anything. It's something I've had to work towards. But when triggered, I go to anxious. Sometimes, very rarely, I will go to avoidant. What I notice, which is a little in depth for this video and probably more in depth than you'll be able to analyze for yourself right now, and that's okay if it's too much, don't worry about it. But what I've noticed the most is that when my feminine energy gets triggered, that's when I go anxious. When my masculine energy gets triggered, that's when I go avoidant. And quite honestly, it's what I learned from the females and males in my life, if I look back and see it. So that might be another way for you to look at it. Let's talk though real quick, what we're looking at. So when someone has an anxious attachment style, real basic, okay? We're gonna keep it real basic for this video. When your attachment style gets triggered, let's give an example. You have a fight with your spouse, okay? You're having a fight with your spouse. If you're an anxious attachment, all these attachments are getting triggered in your body. Like literally chemical changes going on in your body, okay? That's why this is so strong and why it overrides our mind. Because on a physical level, we're fighting to survive. And what's happening is during this fight, if you're anxious, your attachment style is going, oh shit, he's gonna abandon me. He's gonna go, he's gonna abandon me. I have to figure out what to do. How can I keep him closer to me? How can I make sure he doesn't leave this room? How can I make sure that we calm this all down and everything feels all good again as soon as possible, right? And what happens with these people is you start divorcing parts of yourself. You start saying, oh my God, you know what? It was me, I got too angry too quickly. I'm gonna just kind of stuff this energy. I'm gonna kind of stuff this anger down and pretend like I wasn't really angry, like it wasn't really that big of a deal, so that he's okay and we can be lovers again, right? And that's an anxious attachment style. Now, if you get into a fight with your lover and you're secure and he's secure, you're gonna go, and you're gonna like step back from the moment. And you might say, what did I do here that I could have done differently? What did he do here that he could have done differently? You might start thinking about like, what's his in this and what's yours in this, right? You're not gonna take on his energy. You're not gonna take on his beliefs. You're not gonna take on any of the words he's hurling at you or any of that, because you're gonna look at it and you're gonna recognize, no, this right here is my energy. All of that's his. So I'm not offended. I'm not angry, I'm okay. Like, yes, there's different feelings going through my body, but I'm okay. Because you know what? If we're meant to be together, we will work through this and we'll continue to have the conversation. Even if it's not in this moment, maybe we need to come back to it tomorrow. That's okay with me, because I know he loves me and I love him, and if we're meant to be together, this will work out. And that's secure. Now, avoidant, when you get into the argument, goes, oh shit, I'm feeling all these feelings and this doesn't feel good in my body. I have to get away, right? Now, they might literally get away by like trying to walk away from the fight, leaving the house, or if you're on the phone, hanging up. They might literally try to get away. The other thing they will do is push you away. So they might start saying mean things. They might start saying things that aren't even true at all. Like, you know what, I never really loved you. You've always been this way. They might throw it all on you. And if you're an anxious person, this is like toxic. In fact, if you put an avoidant person with an anxious person, this is often, not always, this is often where we find that narcissistic person with the codependent person. It's like they feed each other. They're just drawn to each other, like their struggle, their pain, like just works together. And that's really, really toxic and hard to get out of, because the more the avoidant person tries to pull away, and whether they're treating you like shit or literally walking away, it's triggering your anxious style, and you're trying to figure out how to get closer to them. You're trying to get them back to you. Now remember, all of this is happening on a physical and emotional level, a subconscious level. It is not something you're choosing in your brain, right? It's not logical. It's not something that you're consciously choosing. You're not standing here going, oh man, this guy's being such a dick. Let me see if I can be perfect so that he'll love me again. Like, you know that's not the right thing to do. But that's not what's happening. All of this is happening on a subconscious level. So remember to give yourself some grace. As someone who has fallen in love with a narcissist, and as someone who is always working through layers of codependency, I'm not sure if we ever get through that, by the way. After talking to many women and experiencing it myself, I think we get to a place where we move more into the secure attachment. But I think there's always like a little bit of us that will do it when we're triggered. The difference that I find for myself, I'm getting a little off topic here. The difference I find for myself is that now I tend to notice when it happens. So it happens, I recognize it, and then I can stop it before the action happens. But it doesn't mean that the trigger doesn't still make me go, I want to fix this. Oh, I want to make it all better. I want to put them first. You know what I mean? Those codependent things. Anyway, so this is what's going on with the attachment styles. And I got totally off track there. Give me just a second. We're talking about attachment styles, and that's great. I'm glad that you can learn more about your attachment styles. I cannot remember what my opening line to this video was and what I'm supposed to wrap back around to. So I think we're just gonna call it good here, because I've talked to you about the 3 main different styles, okay? And just keep in mind that whether you're feeling like you're primarily anxious, primarily secure, or primarily avoidant, that we all kind of move through these. So it's not black and white here at all. And even if you find yourself, like most women that I work with, most women, not all, are anxious attachment styles. And that's what they're trying to heal. They're moving through those mother wounds. They're moving through those father wounds. They're moving through the codependency. They're healing all of this so that they can actually draw in the lover they truly desire, which is a lover that's secure, a lover that's in his masculine, a lover that can hold boundaries in a healthy way and create a safe and loving space for the two in the relationship, right? But we've got to move through all this stuff first. So just keep in mind, this is just an introduction to attachment theory. And don't beat yourself up if you find yourself in one that you're like, shit, I'd really rather be secure than this. You can work through it. I can teach you how to work through it. And it's definitely possible. I have done it myself, and it feels so, so good when you come out on the other side. You get such a boost of confidence, and you feel very, I kind of want to say autonomous. Like, you just feel like your own individual person and very capable of taking on life, relationships, and getting exactly what you want without feeling like you have to either manipulate people or cling to people or make people see it your way. Like, you just are. You're just a badass woman.